Hello fellow educators, welcome to my World of Maths Assignment 2 presentation on a play-based activity. The activity that's going to take place is Teddy Bear School, which is aimed at a Year 2 foundation. The maths concept around this is number sense, so being able to understand symbols such as addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. The AC curriculum content for Year 2 ranges from the ACMN A029 to the ACMN A032. Students will be asked to bring in their teddy for Teddy School. It is important for the educator to send a letter home for parents to explain why they need to bring a teddy and the activity that's going to take place. This activity uses number sense in relation to being able to recognise and confidently use symbols such as addition, subtraction, division and multiplication, and it will be done through observing and analysing. The resources needed will be the child's teddy, whiteboards, pens, papers, diaries, etc. Should the child wish to use resources to help expand the mind, the educator should find the means to do so. Educators will need to explain to the children about Teddy School and how they need to teach their teddy about maths. Educators need to explain to children that they need to teach their teddies about addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. By completing this activity, children are able to learn the skill of number sense, as children will learn to be more confident when using symbols. Educators must show and tell the children all the resources available. Teachers are to provide every student with an exercise book. This will be their personal diary, so that after every session the activities that took place can be documented. Educators will tell the students that the use of a camera will take place during the activity, to which they can stick images in their diaries and write about the activity. One way to begin the learning session is to get students to introduce their teddy and to create a role. Every student will have the opportunity to read the role at the beginning of the session. The educator must have a method in place so every student can share the role of reading the role. An example of this would be conveying this in an alphabetical order in relation to the student's last name. After the role has been read, instruct the students to begin their math lessons. This can be conducted in pairs and groups. In relation to modelling the activity, ask students to sit their teddy bear at a chair at each table. At each chair, have an activity slip like the one pictured. This will give students something to begin with. Assist the students with completing this activity. This activity clearly demonstrates division. Teddy School will continue for 2 weeks. Students will be given an hour a day to play with their teddies to conduct math lessons. At the end of every session, students will be required to write in their diaries stating what they taught their teddies and how. This is a diary entry provided by one of the students, and this is an image taken from one of the activities that took place. While the children play, they are given their own opportunities to play and dictate how they wish to teach their teddies. By the educator observing this activity, they are able to create a zone of proximity to gain an understanding of a child's current knowledge. It is important for the educator to view how children use mathematical language during this activity. This will determine what children are comfortable with. For example, if children mainly demonstrate addition and subtraction, this can show they lack confidence and understanding in multiplication and division. To measure a student's understanding, the educator can ask the students how they're teaching their teddies about maths by showing enthusiasm and using open-ended questions. At the end of every session, the educator could ask students about something new they taught their teddy and how they did it. The educator could pretend that they know nothing about a certain maths concept and will ask the student who is acting as the teacher to show them. After discussions take place, children will then have the opportunity to document the activity in their diaries. When children play, they use their imagination in an imitation. The development of cognitive skills in learning, memory thinking, and language and literacy skills have strong links to play. The Foundation Year 2 Mathematics curriculum introduces mathematical symbols and language to communicate and explain mathematical ideas. During this activity, children had the freedom to conduct and teach mathematics in their own way, which was derived from pre-existing knowledge from themselves or the peers around them. This allowed children to become familiar and more confident in using mathematical language such as adds, subtracts, multiply, divide, and equals. Constructivism focuses on how learners create their own understandings. This takes place by the student asking questions, developing answers, and by interacting and interpreting from the environment around them. During this activity, students were taught within the constructivist theory as they used pre-existing knowledge for this activity. Students had the freedom to explore, create, and learn at their own pace. Vygotsky stated the importance of relationships and interactions between children and those who are more knowledgeable. Vygotsky also believed that children's cognitive understanding were enriched when they were scaffolded by a role model such as a parent or teacher. During this activity, children were able to learn from a social point of view through discovering their own and peers' prior knowledge. This happened while the educator scaffolded the activity by modelling the introduction and becoming involved during play. Each school is required to have a pedagogical framework that is developed to ensure high-quality, evidence-based teaching practices. In this activity, core system principles were followed, which was student-centered planning and targeted and scaffolded instructions. When children consistently see things, they begin to recognize words, letters, numbers, and use language and ideas that they have seen. In this activity, the educator modelled the introduction of how mathematical concepts could be used, meaning children could create activities around addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. Students had the opportunity to draw, model, verbally communicate, and document about different mathematical symbols and concepts they were familiar with. The educator also became involved by asking questions in relation to mathematics. Thank you for watching my play-based activity.